Do it.
Hey, welcome to a year of magical learning. We are at book 50. This is a show where we read book, reflect on what we learned from the book, and we talk about them. So today we have a book, Who Moved My Cheese?
Yeah. Have you ever read this before? Is this are
I
you
have
are you
not.
familiar
I
with it?
have heard many people reference it before, but I never did.
Yeah, I same here. This journey, I've a lot of times I'm just grabbing anything and everything I can find, throughout the course of this just to keep myself moving through this and learning new stuff. And I think one time I went and searched like, the most popular books of all time or whatever, the highest, sales or whatever, copies sold, number sold of all time. And Who Moved My Cheese was up there. And I was like, man, I feel like I've heard about this book forever. I was like,
Yes.
I gotta eventually just check this thing out and see what it's all about, right? So,
Hmm.
so that was how I ended up finding Who Moved My Cheese.
Yes.
It's written by the author Spencer Johnson, and it is a motivational business fable. Just a quick description of it that
Okay.
describes the way that one reacts to major changes in work and life. So there's four typical reactions, and those are that occur when you're on the hunt for cheese. Cheese, right? Like work and
Cheddar, you
productivity.
mean? You mean
Yeah, cheddar.
cheddar?
Yeah, get that cheddar, right? Yeah.
Bring home the
So
cheddar, bring home the bacons.
pretty much, yeah. So like it's a metaphor of there's four reactions and they're represented by the four characters of the book. There's two mice, one's named Sniff and one's named Scurry. And then there's two little people that are supposed to be like humans, named Hem and Hall.
Uh-huh.
They live in this maze. And one day they were walking in this maze and they found a bunch of cheese in Cheese Station C. And
Mhm.
the mice and Hem and Hall, Sniff and Scurry and Hem and Hall decided to stop at Cheese Station C, and then they were all happy eating their cheese,
So
having a
does
good
does
time.
ham and haw eat cheese? It's just the
Yeah,
sniffing scurry.
no, they all eat cheese. Like they all consume cheese and live off of cheese.
Okay.
Yeah. So they're all happy and healthy. They're doing good. They feel like they got a pretty good supply of cheese in Cheese Station C.
Mm-hmm.
And then one day the cheese is gone and I can't remember if it's him or Hall comes in and they're like, who moved my cheese? Like when they get to the back to their station that day. And so immediately the mice, Sniff and Scurry, they see there's no cheese and they're like, we're out. They just jet off to the next, around the maze and, into dive off into uncertainty to go find more cheese, right? Because that's
Mm-hmm.
what mice do. And then him and Hall, being the humans of this equation, they're a little stuck. They're like, I was pretty comfortable. I was having a good time with this cheese. I felt good here. Like we had plenty of cheese. I knew what we needed to do. We had a good routine. And they were like, maybe it's just gone for a day or something like that. So they end up like waiting around for like a couple days, and then slowly but surely over time they start to realize like there's no more cheese coming in Cheese Station C. Like it's gone. The cheese is gone. And they're like, well,
Right.
shit, what do we do now? So I can't remember if it was him or Hall. I think it was him. Decides one day to, Hall is like, I'm not moving. And him's like, look, man, we got to do something. So he's like, fine, you go explore the maze, go hunt for
Mm-hmm.
cheese. He's like, we're gonna starve if we don't. Hall's like, I don't care. I'm staying here. It'll come back. I don't want to move. So him goes out into the maze and he starts to try to explore on his own, to try to figure out if there is any other cheese out there. They don't even know, like they
Right.
so slowly but surely him every day keeps leaving Cheese Station C and exploring and
It sounds like a Dr. Seuss book.
it kind of is. It's like a fable, right? So and
Cheese Station C.
as him goes out into the world, into the maze, into the unknown, he starts to write like little notes to himself
Hmm.
about where he's been and how to remember, like, when he comes back, and then also to
Hmm.
leave little notes for Hall in case Hall ever decides he wants to get off his ass and try to get out there and realize that there is no cheese left anymore. So eventually, him ends up finding another cheese station that's got a ton of cheese for them to be able to sustain on. And the mice are already there, actually, so they're Sniff and Scurry have been there for a while and just nibbling around and doing their thing. And um, but him left Hall back at cheese station C, and he didn't know if he was ever going to come, but he left all these notes all over the maze. And he felt really proud of himself because he embraced, like, the fear and uncertainty, and he just went off into the unknown and ultimately found something. So, like, the metaphor is supposed to be about how people deal with change, or do you just sit there and do nothing? Do you immediately just take off like the mice and go look for new cheese and just say it is what it is? Do you get courageous and go out there and try new and explore the world a little bit like Hall, or so anyway, it's supposed to be a metaphor of, like, different ways where you deal with change, right? So I will share my screen, and I just basically told you that entire story. It's not a long.
Have to read the book.
Yeah, right. Yeah. It's not a long book, but I get why people enjoyed it, I guess, and I get why it was pretty popular, because it makes you think a little bit. I guess
it's a Dr. Seuss.
Right. It's we love stories, right? We love fables and stories, and that's how we learn. But my reflection actually for this one isn't about change at all, which is ironic because that was the whole thought of this book. It's about I wrote down, be a guide, learn and share. So my personal thought around this, what I learned the most from when I was reading through this book, was him, when he set out and he went out into the maze. The mice, they immediately, for all we know, like, all mice have a one-track mind. Like, they just, all they focus on is food, and that's it. Like, I mean, we're not mice, so we don't know what's going through their brain. But when they found out there was no cheese, they were like, well, shit, well, this is our mission, this is our purpose, we got to eat. It's like beavers, right? If there was no if there was no water, they would still probably try to dam somewhere. They would still try to do something. Like, I mean, that's what they do, So the mice don't even think twice. It's just ingrained into them to say, like, we're out of food, we need to go find food. Like, this is what we do. We don't think about it. We just go, even if it means they're gonna, completely kill themselves along the way. They don't care. Like, that's just their one-track mind, for all we know. I mean, once again, like, I don't know, maybe they're really complex. But it's him and Hall that I really, I feel like I learned a lot about, because of the humanity that they showed throughout this whole entire story. Specifically, whenever him would go out into the maze, he would write down notes, on the walls, like inspirational quotes, or like reminders of himself of, where he's come, and things to motivate him to keep going. And then things to be able to guide, Hall, if you ever did, get out of the maze. And that's what I felt was, like, the coolest part about this whole entire book. That is so uniquely human for us. Like, there's no other animal in this world they like mice, like, unless you're physically next to another mouse, like, they can't communicate and share any knowledge. Like, we can. Like, we don't need to be near anybody that ever listens to these podcasts, or anybody that ever reads these reflections, or anybody that ever does anything with you and I on any meaningful work project that you and I are trying to do. As long as we can capture that, write it down, share that idea to somebody else, like, that can live on for forever, and can inspire and motivate and help other people grow and learn and share. And really, at the end of the day, I feel like that's what it's all about, and that's what makes humans so unique for us. So in my personal book. So that's what I learned most from Who Moved My Cheese, is to kind of be like him, and make sure that we're always learning, exploring, but also sharing, and making sure that we're giving back to others, and that we're writing these words down, or some way for other people to consume it, someday when they go on their own quest and they go on their own journey, and they need inspiration, or they need guidance, or they need somebody there to just help them through it. So that's my reflection overall. So it's be a guide, learn and share. What are your thoughts?
So first thing I want to ask, what do you think is the difference between the mice and the little people?
I think that's what I was trying to explain. Is I think the big difference is, I think that mice have emotions. I think that mice have probably feelings. I think that mice, I don't know, they may have consciousness. Like, they may have other ideas in their head. I think that they're elephants, if you will, of a mice. I don't think they have a writer. I don't think they have anybody that can stop and think and share. They just instinctively go, right? They do what they're supposed to do. I don't think they have a writer,
Right.
And then we do, we have the ability to take in what's happened to us, and then go, well, what do I want to do with that? Him decided stay and say, screw it, I'm not doing this, you know. And
Mhm.
him decided to go, and Hall decided to say, I'm not moving. Fine. Like, I'm gonna,
Right,
you know,
right,
but yeah, I think that's probably the biggest difference is I don't think mice have a writer, you know, on top of
right,
their elephant. Yeah.
right. So for me, it's one of the big thing that I got from you talking about your reflection is um if I ask you what's the difference between a rat brain or a mice brain and a human brain, what would you say that is?
I think it's that. I think it's the writer. I think it's the
So the size,
rationality.
right? The
Yeah. Right.
size, right? So
Yeah.
if let's talk about the size a little bit. How big is a human brain compared to a rat brain? Is it 10x?
Oh, I don't know. I mean,
Is it
I have no idea.
100x?
But I don't even know that size really matters, though, because I mean,
Well, I'm asking this kind of question. Like, typically speaking, what is the scale? It's like 10x. The human brain has 10x.
Well,
Is it 100x?
I think the
Is it a
human brain
1000x?
probably weighs 8 pounds. I think is what I've heard is like the average human brain. I think a mouse
So let's
probably
talking
weighs
about
like
knowledge then. Let's talk about
right,
knowledge.
right.
How much knowledge does a rat brain can take,
I have no idea.
can
That's the thing
store
is,
versus a human brain? Just take a ballpark guess. Because I have a follow up to what I'm asking.
let's just say the human brain, the capacity of knowledge that is able to be packed into our brain is, well, I'll just say 1,000x more than a mouse. I
Okay.
guess I don't know. Yeah.
So what would you say if I say it is infinity? There's no limit to the capacity of a human knowledge.
Was there a limit to the capacity of a mouse's knowledge?
Yes.
How do you know?
Because the mouse can only learn about the information that's passed on to him and what he can hold in his head. For a human, we take it into our head and we store it in writings.
Ah, that's true. Yeah.
And you take the writings of the 7 billion people and all of our generation throughout history. Can you count how many that is?
Oh,
and to
God,
me,
no.
that's a big difference between human and animals. Because human, they may have some of the aspect
right
of, the animal may have some aspect of human. We don't know for sure whether or not they have conscious. They could, but one thing for sure is they don't store the knowledge in a place where where they can access it again.
Right.
Writing is, to me, it's uniquely human, and that gives us not only 10x the brain, but an infinity x. I mean, there's no limit. We can take as much as we want, right? Because we have it stored. We have it written down. And to me, writing is the extension of our storage.
I agree.
Because whatever you have in your brain, well, yeah, it's like your what I say, accessible memory versus the permanent storage, which is your writings. Like, anyone can go and open a book. Anyone can open a video, a YouTube video, and learn how to do certain things, because they can take that knowledge back into their brains and work on it and put them back out to another storage and bring it back into different type of knowledge.
Absolutely.
So the storage of human capacity, it is huge compared to other animals. And that's the reason why we have been the apex for so long and continue to be an apex until some animal can start to write like us. They're not going to even come close.
So, no, I agree.
From what you're saying, that's what I've thinking of when you're talking about the because the him is writing a lot of these things. This is the knowledge he has, right? Not only that he can store it, but also can share it with another human being, right?
So I think this goes two ways. I think you're dead on, never exactly dead on with what I was trying to get across in that message, but I think it goes two ways. The quest for new knowledge, like when him set out, like he felt alive, like he felt like, like like this is, you know, this is what I'm supposed to do. Like
Right.
this is fun. Like this is engaging. This is, you know, this is great. And then I can write it down, you know, and share it with, you know, with Hall if he ever did leave, and he did, you know, and he did eventually leave, and he followed these notes, and we can help, like you said, we can, instead of it just being fun and inspiring, you know, it's like you're climbing Mount
Right,
Everest,
because
right? It
Hall
gets
is
easier and
part of
easier.
the collective. So without Hall, you know, the storage of memory will be one minus of whatever that Hall knowledge is,
Right,
right?
right,
So in the selfish way, you want Hall to be able to take directions and be guided by
right.
your knowledge. Another thing that comes to my mind is you say that the rat have this one track mind. I'm asking us as well, would human have the same thing? It's just that our one track mind is to learn and
Could
share.
be. Yeah. I mean, well, because,
I mean,
well,
a quest for
yeah,
knowledge, I guess, in a way.
that's
Because if you say I feel alive when like him felt alive when he started to explore and write down things. So to me, it felt like when you are alive and when you are really enjoying what you do, that's what your one track mind is built to do. And so when you do that, like we say, you know, a beaver must dam, right? A writer must write, a painter must paint, a rat must chase for food or whatever.
right.
That's a one track mind for that animal.
Sure.
Our one track mind could be a quest for knowledge and to share that ideas
Could,
and to store them, to accumulate
could be.
this massive storage of knowledge.
Absolutely could be. I mean, I would call that like a purpose, I guess. So, I mean, maybe that is the purpose of humanity. I don't know. I mean, we've talked about this in the past of you know, being humans are composers, right? I mean, we do take what we learn and turn it in and mash it up with a bunch of other stuff and turn it
Right.
into
Humans
something
are
completely
makers,
different.
right? They are
Right.
builders. And in order for them to build, they need knowledge.
Right.
And when they build and when they assemble the knowledge, it makes him or her felt alive. And so just like a beaver, if you let him dam, he feels happy, he feels joy.
Right.
So I think um, we are genetically made to be composer, to be the explorer of knowledge, to be the assimilations of knowledge of whatever we can get our hands on. And I
Right.
think that's could be the one track mind of humanity.
That could be. I don't think that's a bad thought at all. I mean, I know eventually you get to the cheese, right? But like, I don't think I can guarantee you that him had a way better journey getting to the cheese than the mice did. Because they probably didn't see. It's like the alchemist, you know, with the whole oil, you know, carry the oil in the spoon and see the castle. Like him was enjoying the whole maze. Like he was out there, he was looking around each corner, he was exploring spaces, he was writing notes, he was, you know, sharing thoughts with himself and capturing stuff. Like these mice just went in as fast as they could from point A to point B. Like they definitely, you know, kept the oil, you know what I mean? Like and were able to bring that back completely full. But I don't know that they saw the castle, you know, like I don't know that they saw everything along the way
Right, but
and
regardless of whether
enjoyed
they
that,
saw
you
the
know.
castle or not, that's not their
Right, they don't care.
the genetic makeup. So they don't care about the castle, just want the cheese, and
Right.
that makes them happy. And
We
for
don't
us, not only that we need to find the cheese, we need to find knowledge along the way. And without, so if you were just given the cheese, like given the cheese, I doubt that your life would be happy and fulfilled. You don't enjoy it, even though you have the cheese, the the
right,
cheddar or the bacon or whatever you call it.
right.
It's not the same. I mean, just like, hey, I'm a
Like a hotel heiress
I'm
or
a
something like that. That
billionaire,
doesn't,
and
yeah,
because it's just I just have a vault of all these cheddar,
right,
whatever you call it, versus I made it.
right.
That's two different things,
I agree.
right? A self-made billionaire versus inherited, billionaire. It's two different guys, two different person.
not only that, I mean, you can
What?
help share and help other people along the way when you're the, you know, when
Yeah,
it's
once it's
self-made,
fulfilled,
you
the
know.
other one is probably gonna be overdosed on some kind of drug because life is so boring.
Right. Yeah. I mean, because it's not about the
For
cheddar.
him or her to go explore and get some kind of thrill in his life.
Right. Yeah, it's about the journey. It's about the quest for new knowledge.
Because
Yeah.
we're genetically made for that.
Yeah.
It's not about the destination, and it has nothing to do with whether this is better or that better. It's whatever you're made to do.
Right.
If you're made to do a certain thing and you don't get to do it, then you have a sad life. That's just this is it. I mean, people say, well, this person or that person is work too hard or whatever. Maybe they enjoy the hard work.
Right.
Or this person is too easy, right? Well, maybe they enjoy the easiness. They enjoy the say, well, this person is lack ambitions. Well, who's to say that that's what he wanted?
Right.
Right? Because for me, it's like I don't want spontaneous events. I just want predictable one. And for somebody else, it's different, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Right. Agreed. Interesting. So this is it's a fun little short story. Fun ways to interpret it, and different ways to reflect on it. But I think you make some really good points about maybe that is our purpose. Who knows? And if that is, I'd be cool with that, because it is more fun when you're learning and exploring. And sharing with other people. Like, I mean, that's what this whole journey is.
Right. You got to
that's what
enjoy.
we're doing right now.
That's I guess that would be the kind of like the moral story is enjoy. Do what you want to do, but enjoy it.
And share.
If that makes you happy, if you enjoy it. If you don't enjoy it, don't share. And I don't care.
Right. Fair enough. Good point. But the question for others following along with this, if you guys want to reflect on this, it's how are you going to share your knowledge to help guide others? If you do enjoy it, I guess. If you don't enjoy
and do
it,
you enjoy it?
Then don't share it. Yeah. But thanks for joining, everyone. We'll see you all tomorrow. I can't believe we're on book 50. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah,
what we do 51 tomorrow.
Yeah, we're getting somewhere. All right. Have a good one.
You too. Bye.